Have you ever run into someone that was not only arrogant, but prideful? Pride and arrogance are really two sick partners. And in the marriage of it, what happens is that they fall and they fall hard. We're going to talk about that today. There's the difference in being self assured, knowing who you are and why you are here in the earth. And you walk in a confidence so that you come into a room and the room changes because here's someone that is living a life that is so authentic, but they know who they are. If that's you, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. That's a safe thing. That's a powerful thing. That's a thing that's a way, that's a personality, a temperament, an action, a being that helps everybody. But in the Bible, in Proverbs 16, 18 through 19, here's something that says, first, this is out of the Message Bible. I'm reading it, so it's not really a Bible. It's translation, whatever. Anyway, it says, first pride, then the crash. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. It's better to live humbly amongst the poor than to live it up amongst the rich and famous. Okay, what is that talking about? It's not talking about that being rich and famous is a problem, because otherwise, I am not about to walk around poor or any of that. But what they're saying is this. Let me read it to you in the King James Version. It says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. See, that's not talking about money. It's not talking about the idea of money, because the idea of money and money is good in itself. It's neither good nor bad. What it is that it is a commodity. It is something that we use. We use this, and you are prosperity yourself. So you have all of that on the inside of you. But here it is, most prideful and arrogant, most prideful and egocentric people are people that are very, very insecure. This is the reason that it says pride goes before destruction. Okay, here you are. You're boasting great things. You think that you're all of that and extra bananas, banana split, all of that with a cherry on top, all of these different kinds of things. You think that you're all of this. You're pretending, but inside, what happens is this: you know that that is not who it is that you are. Inside, you're a scared little boy, scared little girl, scared somebody, afraid of being who it is that you really are. Here it is. Here you are. You're this bully. You're this arrogant thing. You're this prideful thing. You go out and be like Goliath. Here was Goliath. Here he was beating his chest. Who's going to come and beat me? Who is better than me? Who can outdo me? All of these things he was saying, right? And then here comes this one that says, oh, wait a minute. I have a covenant. I have a covenant with someone that I know who it is that I am. See, David was not talking about himself. David was talking about he had the power of a covenant with an almighty God that had made promises. And one of the promises is that you curse me, you come at me, you do these things, and it's not me that's going to take care of you, but it's God that's going to take care of you through me. Okay. Maybe I need to say that again. Okay. Listen to me. And it sounds like I'm repeating, maybe I am, but it says the bigger the ego, the haughtier the spirit, the greater your fall will be. It will come, here's destruction in one part and here's a fall in the next. Those are two different things. It's better to be one that is of humility. Now, humility does not mean weak. I am one of the most humble people I know. I live a life of humility. And one of the first people in the Bible that said that was Moses. Moses said Moses was the most humble man in the land. So you know that humility didn't have anything to do was not speaking truth. All right. It's a person. Here's Moses. I know my position. That's number one. I know who I am. That's number two. I know why I'm here. That's number three. And I know what I'm here to do. Number four. And I know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing with you. So here it is. He knew who he was in covenant with. He's in covenant with God. He was obedient to God. He knew these things that he was. And so therefore, here it is. He walked in the realm of obedience. Get that word, obedience. Beautiful word, powerful word. Oh my gosh, one of my most favorite words in the whole wide world is obedience. Being obedient to God means, for me and for anyone else that really reads the Bible, right, is that I am submitted to the sovereignty of who God is. And I'm here to serve you people that are on this YouTube. I am here to serve you in the highest and the greatest and the best manner that I possibly can, by bringing to you things that are important to you, answers to questions, things of that nature. All of this is this. And I can say that I am bringing it to you in excellence. That is not being prideful. That is not being arrogant. If I were to say it all came from me, there is only one voice that you need to hear. There is this. If here it is, I'm puffing me up. You know that that's pride. And you know that is because I am insecure and I got to tell you how great I am. Singing that song. Not singing to God, how great thou art, but how great you are. So many other people, if this is you, if you're hearing me, please, for your sake, not for mine, but for your sake, remember that being prideful and being arrogant and having a giant ego. Here's one of the things that we used to teach in church. I've heard this so many times, and every time I did, it was a cringe. It was a cringe. It was like somebody taking it and pulling their fingers down on a blackboard, and everything in me would do. They would say, build your husband's ego up, build up his ego. I'm thinking, no, I want to take a pin and pop his ego. I do not want to build up a false ego. They were talking about building up a false ego. It was not talking about what it is that God talked about in the Bible, to esteem him, to esteem her, to esteem others higher than you esteem yourself. What they were talking about is this: make him feel like this, even if he's not. Make him feel. You see, if you make someone feel like something, you're going to have to continue to make them feel like it. And that is high maintenance. If you are single, please do not look for a person that you have to build up their ego in order for them to be able to operate, because this is you're building up a false pride. There's such thing as a false pride. Actually, all of it's false, but it's a false pride. It's an idea of what it is that someone is supposed to be that they're not. Help them to grow. In other words, help them to grow. They see a picture of themselves. You can see a picture of yourself doing mighty and great things and all of that. But in the midst of that, realize that you have to become the person. See, prideful people never became the person that could release what it is that they have in the realm of humility. They never became the person that they needed to become in order for them to be able to produce what is necessary for them to produce, for them to operate in the position in which they want. Here's another thing: a haughty spirit. I know more than you do. I have it all together. I have this. I have this. The whole conversation is about the how I'm a self-made woman. I'm a self-made man. Every time I hear that, I cringe. You've heard me say this before, no one is self-made. If you were self-made, then you wouldn't have needed a mother and a father to do what they did. You wouldn't have needed that for them to be able to bring you into the world. No one comes into this world all by themselves, and no one makes any successful steps all by themselves. Everybody needs a team. God made it that way. He says, I sent them out two by two. He says, I don't want that mankind be all alone. I don't want that man be alone. So I made him a helpmeet. I didn't make him someone lower than himself. I made him someone to walk on his side so that his strengths could be her weaknesses and her weaknesses could be his strengths, so that they could be all one, so that they could be a powerhouse together, not one being all this and the other being that, not one walking behind the other. Are you hearing this? And this is what prideful people want, whether it's in marriage, whether it's in relationship, whether it's in business, no matter what it is, this is what it is that they want. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Remember, I'm here for you. This is about you. And this is about you being able to interact with people of like-mindedness, being able to stretch your mind, stretch your brain, to be able to realize how great you are. And as you start to realize the greatness in you, you'll realize I don't have to be prideful, because I am who it is that I am. I am individually me. I am uniquely me. There has never been another. There has never been one, and there will never be another like me. And then what you can start to do is you can look at your past and say, you know what, no matter what it is that happened in my past, I'm in my present right now. And I can use my past and my future in my now to bring my life into the position that it is to be. Then you won't walk with a haughty spirit. You will always be able to walk and live a life of humility, live a life of power. And then when you say, no, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm a billionaire, I have these homes, I have these properties, I have these things, you'll know that you have them, they don't have you. And because you know who you are, it does not matter when people come against you and say, well, you have all of this, give it to the poor. No, I will help you help the poor if that's necessary. I will give you a book. I will give you a training. And one of the things of it is this: there are more prideful poor people, there are arrogant poor people than there are rich people. And I'm here to help you with that. Listen what the word of God says. It says, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. And understand something. Pride people, you already know that there are people coming into the nation even right now that are demanding things. They have too much pride to wear this. They have too much pride to wear this clothes. They have too much pride to eat this food. They have too much pride for that. This is pride and arrogance. This is saying, oh no, here it is. I am demanding. Demanding people are prideful people. Demanding people are haughty people. I had this client once. Here's the story. I had this client once, and he is and was a very wealthy guy. And he owned oil wells and different things in different countries and stuff like that. And he just had this air about him. He had an arrogance about him. And so it was really interesting. I worked for him. I was a real estate person. And he would say, BJ, this is what I need done. And I would look at him and I would tell him, that's really great, but I'm not doing it until you talk to me right. He said, nobody talks to me that way. I said, now you're calling me a nobody? I went there. Yeah, I did. You called me a nobody. And he laughed and he says, do I talk that way to people? I said, you talk down to people so much until it's like I'm surprised that anybody works with you. Oh, I said, oh, I forgot. Nobody works with you. They all work for you, right? I said, that's a part of the problem. Everybody works for you and nobody works with you. It didn't change him a lot, but it did start to change him. I know our relationship changed. I know that the way that he spoke to me was a different way. And then people would wonder, how can you talk to him like that? Do you know who he is? And I said, yes, a man. I was a nurse before I was in real estate, and I was a nurse before I was a doctor. And I have seen and I have wiped up people. And when they get old, there's a couple of things that always happens to people. So I saw no, I'm not intimidated by any of that. And this is one of the things that I say to you: don't try to be intimidating, and don't be intimidated by anyone else, because most of these things and most of these people that are acting that way, all they are is fearful people on the inside.